So, we did it. We're in Florida now. What's going on, good guys? Chris Newen here, ChrisNewenRealEstate.com, Chris Newen Real Estate Everywhere. Like, comment, subscribe. Help me get these comments and these subscribers up. It'll help me tremendously. It'll help everybody that needs my help to find me so I can help them. All right, so I get asked this question a lot. Chris, why Florida? Why does a New York born and bred through and through, why does this New York gentleman want to sell in Florida? And at first, the answer is I really didn't know, right? I, the way it started was I went to Florida for the first time, my first flight as an adult. I went to Florida, and it was beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it here, right? Now, before then, it's been on my goal list since I was at my first brokerage, right? I just never understood why. I just felt like drawn to Florida. So the places that I wanted to be licensed in back then was obviously New York, which I was then, currently now, Jersey, Florida, and California. Right? Jersey because it's across the street. Cali because it's beautiful, right? And who doesn't want to do business out of California? And Florida, possibly the same reason. But I just was never too sure as to why I wanted to do business in Florida. So it's been on my goal list. It's been on my goal list. It's been on my goal list. Then I actually go. I go with my girlfriend, and we have a great time. And it was just so beautiful and amazing, and the views that we saw. We was at a hotel, and we had great views. We was on Biscayne Boulevard, and we had great views, and it was just beautiful. I loved it. So I was like, you know what? That's what gave me the motivation, right? Now, talking to my grandmother, right? You know they say speak to your elders, you learn something. So speaking to my grandmother, I learned about history of me and my family. So my grandmother tells me that my grandmother. All right, so my grandmother. I grew up with my grandmother. Well, she's really my aunt, but she's like my grand aunt in a sense, right? But I grew up as if she was my grand. She like the grandmother of the family. But my actual grandmother, right? My mother's mother. Like I don't have a father's mother, right? But my mother's mother, she she grew up with the family, obviously, and her family was rich, right? So this is just a generation separation from me, right? I didn't grow up rich. I told you guys before, I grew up in the slums, right? But my mother's mother, she grew up with a rich family. Now, the rich family was actually into real estate. I don't know this until not even a year ago at the time of this video. Um, Grew up with a rich family and they was in the real estate. Were they agents? No, but they were into like buying properties, right? Which is weird because I always say when I was younger I wanted to either be a rapper, right, or get into real estate. I never knew what. I spoke about this a few times. I never knew what. I didn't even know there was genres and subgenres in real estate. I just knew I wanted to get in real estate. I never knew why. So they have a bunch of my mother's parents had a bunch of properties, right? In New York, California, and Florida. So I find this out and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Most of the properties were in Florida. And like rich, like so when they passed, they left the properties over to her, right? And so my actual grandmother was a multi-millionaire. So when you hear stories like this, you're like, what? Where the money? Where's all the properties at? But due to unfortunate circumstances, she passed away, but she was no longer in possession of those properties, right? So this is back in the days in the 70s and like the 60s, 70s, right? Probably even before then. But you know, we weren't privy, right? As black people, we weren't privy to the laws. We weren't privy to like contracts, so on and so forth. So she got tricked out of a lot of those properties, to my understanding. She got tricked out of a lot of those properties, and she sold them, or she got them stolen from her in certain ways. And it's just like, shoot, man. One, I would love to still have those properties, right? But two, it's like maybe this is why I feel a connection to Florida, right? And possibly California, but Cali's super far away, right? Florida, you can hop on a plane and get to Florida faster than you can get on a 3 train and go all the way to the other end of the Bronx. Like it's crazy. So I just felt that connection. So now when I recently went to finalize the deals in Florida, and when I say finalize the deals, I mean meet up with my other brokerage and send them the meet with them, tell them I want this, that, and a third. We negotiate the commission. We do everything we're supposed to do. I just feel like I could do something down here. Right now, the part of Florida I was at, I really didn't particularly like too much. Be honest with you, from like the views I was seeing, because remember when I went the first time, it was straight beauty. It was like, oh my gosh, where I was at this time, it was nice, but it was more so. I kind of want to say the tourist side. It was by the mall, and when I went back over the bridge to Biscayne, and it was just like, oh man, this is just like I could do something here. Now, I always liked waterfront properties, right? So whether it's waterfront condos, co-ops, single families, it was just beautiful. Like just having that view of the water. That's something I love here in New York as well. You typically get that in Williamsburg, Dumbo, certain parts of downtown Brooklyn. Um, Obviously, when you're in Manhattan, you can get that as well. Long Island City, you can get that. But it's just the water is different in Florida. Like everything is just like, so this is why Florida is so important to me as far as getting licensed out there, as far as getting business done out there. You know, I'm more excited about doing business in Florida than I am in the Hamptons. And the Hamptons is New York. So that's that's why Florida. That's why Florida. I feel like my bones is there. My like it's just calling me to be out there, and I don't know if I want to move out there like to stay out there full time. I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to live out there and just stay out there full time. I don't know if I want to just uplift my whole life. I got my kids are here. But I don't know. I don't know. Florida's been calling me for some time. I actually had an ex-girlfriend years ago, and she moved to Florida. We actually broke up because she was moving to Florida. And I wouldn't go. Oh, Chris, come with me, come with me, come with me. I'm not going to Florida. And the reason was I didn't know anybody up there. My mom was still up here in New York. My brother was still up here in New York. It's before I had kids, obviously. And it was just, nah, I don't want to do that. But now I kind of feel like it's a reason that it was calling me since back then, and I just never understood it. Not saying if I would have went down there with her, it would have been great, but something about Florida is calling me to be there. So I'm going to be there. not full time as of now. My mind isn't on full time. What I'll probably do is I'll probably, get a rental out there. Um, get a rental out there, get a condo out there. That's the goal, right? To get a condo out there, waterfront, and it doesn't have to be super expensive, but nice condo out there. And the cars that they got, oh my gosh, the cars that they got out there is beautiful. So that's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is. So I'm excited about it. Right, I'm excited about it, and I'm studying. Well, by the time this comes out, I'll already be licensed, but I'm studying for the test. I failed the first time. Oh my gosh, it broke my heart, but I wasn't surprised. You guys will see it on my channel by the time this comes out, and well, hey, I'm excited. Well, that's my take on why Florida. Talk to you guys soon. Chris New in Real Estate. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts on just expanding business. Maybe you are from, I don't know, Colorado, and you want to uplift, and maybe you got a job transfer. Maybe you're not a real estate agent. Maybe you got a job transfer. Maybe you're a lawyer. Anything, and now you have to go to Texas, or you have to go to Virginia, or you have to go to Nebraska or something, right? And tell me how you guys feel, right? So I'll talk to you guys soon. Comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend, Later.